let's talk about the basic tools, the ones that I love, the ones I think you're going to use and that you definitely need for your Cricut journey. So number one has to be the weeding tool. This is the one that looks like a dodgy dentist's tool, sorry, and this is going to help you pick away all of the tiny little pieces when you're working with vinyl and with iron-on. So if you're working with either of those, this tool is going to be your number one absolute must-have tool. Definitely recommend having a weeding tool. Number two is going to be your scraper tool. Now there are two sizes of scraper tool. I personally live for the extra large, just because it does things double the time that the smaller one can do, because it's double the size. Now there's a few uses for the scraper tool. It's going to come in super handy, particularly when you're cleaning your mats, because you're able to scrape away any debris, be that cardstock or little bits of fluff or whatever. You're able to scrape them off. With vinyl, this is going to help you apply transfer tape, because you can burnish the transfer tape onto the vinyl, and then once you've applied the vinyl, you're able to use it again to make sure it's stuck beautifully to your project. So that is the scraper tool. Number three for me has to be the brayer. I mean, when I first started, I was like, I do not need that random roller. What the hell is that for? It just looked like such a useless step. How wrong I was. This is really going to help your materials stick to the mat. Now, you'll probably hear me banging on a lot about this, and that is that if your material isn't stuck to the mat, it's normally the number one problem. It's not actually the blade, it's because your material isn't stuck to the mat. And that could be because your mat is dirty or it's lost stick or what have you. This is going to help your material stick right into the mat. Really handy. It's also going to get any bubbles out of your vinyl. Super handy as well for fabrics, because it's going to make sure that it smooths that fabric to the mat, so you're not going to get any bumps or wrinkles. It's just going to smooth them out. I personally use this for all materials. Give them a good brayer onto the mat before I pop them into the machine. Number four for me has to be a pair of scissors. Of course, these can be any scissors. I think the Cricut scissors are super cute because they come with this protective lid, and they're a cute colour, and they hang up really nicely on your pegboard if you've got a pegboard. But any scissors, you're going to need a good pair, because you're going to want to cut around materials before you put them in the machine, or when you get them out, you're going to want to cut off excess for another time. Just sometimes you might want to just snip a little bit of something. So definitely, I always have, I mean, this is full of scissors. Can never have enough scissors. Because let me tell you, you will never be able to find the pair of scissors. They will never be where you thought you last left them. So have 50 pairs, and then there's always one to hand. Next up, tweezers. Super handy for peeling delicate things off of the mat, or helping you apply little tiny pieces. Just anything where you need to just get in there with your little tweezers. Any old pair of tweezers is really great. These are cool because they've got that kind of wide edge, so they're really handy. They actually come in the set with the brayer. And then lastly, the spatula tool. Again, a really handy tool for helping you lift things off the mat carefully, especially if you're doing a lot of paper crafting, you've got intricate pieces, you want to carefully lift them off the mat. Scraper tool's going to do that job for you. And those are my absolute must-have. Start with these tools. Doesn't matter which machine you've got, these are the tools that are going to help you in your Cricut journey. These are my absolute must-haves.